Tonight, drift through our Milky Way, soft facts, slow breaths, gentle wonder. No rush, no puzzles, just lanterns of truth guiding you towards sleep, one star at a time, safely home. Let your shoulders slacken, jaw loose, brow smooth. Inhale for 4, hold for 2, and exhale for 6. We're not here to memorize or measure. We're here to float. The galaxy takes the lead. We follow like a leaf on a slow river. You lie inside a wide, patient room. Stars whisper at the edges. Dust softens the lights. Every breath is a small oar stroke, and the current is kind. If this calm exploration helps you unwind, consider subscribing. It helps others find their way here. You live inside a spiral galaxy with a bar across its heart and arms that unwind like ribbon. From Earth, the Milky Way is not a pinwheel, but a pale seam, a chalk mark brushed across black silk. Dust between us and the stars turns billions of tiny fires into a soft band. It looks like a river because it is a river of suns, of stories, of time. We stand inside the forest trying to picture the forest. That's the quiet magic here. Radio waves slip through the leaves. Infrared warmth glows where soot would hide a match. X-rays sparkle where shock has heated gas. Each wavelength is another window in the same house, curtains drawn back a little farther, lantern lights spilling down the hall. We peek, we sketch, we breathe. The picture stays gentle because we never rush it. Our street is the Orion Cygnus Spur, a side road branching from brighter avenues. It's ordinary and lovely the way a small neighborhood is lovely at dusk. Not much traffic, a few porch lights, an occasional newborn star swaddled in pink. Ordinary is good. Ordinary lets the nervous system rest. Somewhere in that quiet, the iron in your blood remembers the core of ancient stars. It traveled long to arrive here and does not ask for anything tonight beyond your next steady breath. The galaxy turns and carries us. We don't feel the turn any more than a calm passenger feels a ship's slow arc across an ocean. But the curve is there and the rhythm is there. Breathe to it, in, 2, out, 2, 4. If a thought arrives with sharper edges, how big, how far, how fast, let the thought sit like a rounded pebble in your palm. You can set it down later. For now, feel how the arms you cannot see are still around you, and how the dark between the stars is not empty, only quiet. Picture a city seen from above at night, a warm core of lights, long boulevards, loops, and side streets. The Milky Way is such a city, but stretched in starlight and threaded with a bar, a glowing causeway across the center that guides gas inward. Around that heart, the central bulge rises like a golden hill of old suns. Their orbits twist and braid in steep gravity, as if streets crisscrossed an ancient square. Beyond the bulge, the disk lies thin, astonishingly thin compared with its width. If the galaxy were a dinner plate, the disk would be a crepe resting on it, not a cake. Above and below the crepe, a faint halo surrounds everything. Older stars, tight globular clusters, and farther still, an invisible embrace of dark matter. We don't see dark matter shine or block the light, but we feel it in the way the city keeps spinning without flying apart. It's scaffolding in the dark, patient and strong. Arms aren't rails, they're traffic waves. Imagine cars on a highway, a patch of slow gathers, then drifts. Each car passes through the jam, but the jam keeps its shape and slides along. So it is with spiral arms. Stars wander in and out. Gas lingers a little longer and feels the squeeze. Where the squeeze is gentle and sustained, clouds collapse and new suns kindle. The arm glows not because it grabs, but because it hosts. The disk itself is not perfectly flat. At the edges it warps, a vinyl record warmed in the sun and lifted ever so slightly by neighboring hands. The little and large Magellanic clouds, faint companions and other dwarfs that tug with slow persistence. Field lines, magnetic threads, curve with the arms and rise as delicate chimneys near the core. charged particles follow those lines like sands riding wind. None of this needs to be precise in your mind tonight. Let it be a lantern behind thin cloth, enough shape to feel safe, enough softness to fall asleep to. The numbers are large, but they can be round and friendly. The Milky Way is about 100,000 light years across. Light itself would need 100 millennia to cross that room. The disk is only about 1,000 light years thick in many places, a crepe, not a cake. The sun rests 26,000, maybe 27,000 light years from the center. That's the suburbs, neither the crowded plaza nor the deep outskirts. A galactic year, the sun's long loop around the heart, takes about 230 million Earth years. Continents wander while we make a single lap. There are hundreds of billions of stars in this city. No one has counted them all. The count would be like counting sparks in a bonfire. Beautiful, approximate, enough. If a question pinches, but how many exactly? Let it loosen. Exactness isn't needed for rest. What matters is the shape. A wide disk, a warm core, unwinding arms, an old halo, a hidden scaffold. That scaffold, the dark matter halo, holds the outer rotation steady. Outer stars orbit almost as quickly as inner ones, as if the city's lights kept time to the same slow song, no matter how far from the square you stand. How do we know the distances, the shapes, the slow song? Nearby, we use parallax, that tiny apparent sway of a star against the far background as Earth moves around the sun, a triangle drawn in sky and months. Farther out, certain variable stars beat like reliable metronomes. Their rhythm tells us their true brightness, and knowing that brightness lets us measure how far they are by how faint they look. Each method is a rung. We climb only as far as we need to see a warm horizon. We don't climb tonight to test our height. We breathe where we are and let the horizon be enough. Sink your attention toward the center. The air there, if we could stand in it, would glow with old starlight and bales of dust warm to ember in the infrared. The central bar runs like a quiet boulevard across the bulge, shepherding gas inward. Where gas gathers, stars can form. Where orbits crowd, light stacks. Where dust thickens, infrared sees what our eyes would miss. Even the darkness has structure, tall, slender filaments like chimneys rising from the core, channels for energy to travel upward and out. Star clusters there are families pressed close by gravity. Some are as tight as a handful of polished beads, others are slightly looser, like cousins at the edge of a reunion. And amid those families, the orbits can tilt in unexpected ways. Some stars loop on paths almost perpendicular to the disk, hoops tossed through 3 dimensions, because near the center the gravity is steep and the city's street plan is more vertical than horizontal. The human mind loves planes and grids. The galaxy gently refuses them and offers a dance instead. The core does not change quickly on our timescales. Its flickers are small, like the last warmth of a fire that has settled to coals. Patience is the measure. Think of waiting for your eyes to adjust in a dark room. At first there's nothing, then outlines, then texture. Keep breathing while the outlines appear. In, hold, out, long. A city made of suns, a causeway of stars, a hill of gold light, and farther in, still at the deepest center, something quieter yet. Return to the disk where we live, a thin sheet crammed with weather, not rain and wind, but shock fronts and eddies, places where gas slows and gathers, where dust sifts into lanes, where gravity tightens its hand just enough to invite collapse. Young, hot stars carve blue-white edges into the arms. They live brief, brilliant lives, and their light sketches the shape for us, the way street performers sketch the liveliest corners of a city by gathering their own crowds. Between the arms, the boulevard is quieter. Older stars drift in long, easy arcs. Dust there is thinner, the windows clearer. Open clusters, loose families of stars born together are more common in the disk, over time, tides and chance encounters coax them apart until siblings cross the city without ever meeting again. Higher above and below the plain lives the thick disk, puffed with older stars that spend more of their time off the main thoroughfare, like locals who know the side paths and the rooftops. Along the inner edges of the big arms, dust lanes lie like strokes of charcoal. They hide and they reveal. Behind them, pink emission nebulae glow. Within them, newborn stars throw out thin jets that pierce the fog. Supernova shock waves move through after the brightest lives end, compressing, stirring, seeding. It all sounds dramatic when we say it fast, said slowly and felt with a palm laid flat. It's a tide. Gather, kindle, share. Quiet. Breathe with that. A tide that meets the shore and draws back without hurry. Space is not empty. Between stars there is a whisper-thin gas, mostly hydrogen, and grains of dust the size of smoke and sand. Those grains redden starlight the way late air warms the sun near the horizon. In the coldest corners, hydrogen pairs up into H2 and waits, a calm pool under moonlight. A passing squeeze, a quiet shove from the mass of a nearby cloud, or a ripple from a dying star can tilt the balance. Slowly, invisibly, a knot forms, and a new star begins as a notch in the dark. Light shows different layers at different wavelengths. Radio maps the cold gas, tracing the outlines of reservoirs too shy for visible light. Infrared shows the warmth of dust, the red glow of soot hiding in plain sight. X-rays whisper where gas has been shocked and heated. Ultraviolet points quietly to youthful mischief. None of this asks you to juggle spectrum names in your hands while you fall asleep. Let it be like walking a familiar apartment at night. You know where the kitchen is by the smell of tea, where the couch is by the dark square, where the window is by the cool air. The galaxy is a house you already know, and every room light is turned low. Metals, astronomers' friendly, imprecise word for all elements heavier than helium, cycle through this thin medium. An old star spreads them, a cloud gathers them, a young star and its disk lock some into stone. Stone becomes surface, surface meets water. Chemistry finds a rhythm, breath finds a helper. It's pleasant to remember that your oxygen rides with iron in your blood, and that iron learned its song inside a star. Pleasant and enough. You don't need the equations for comfort, only the story's soft cadence. The Milky Way now makes a few suns worth of new stars each year, a measured pace, steady and kind. Most of those stars are red dwarfs, small and frugal with fuel. They sip, not gulp, and they can outlast the ages we normally imagine. A few are massive and bright, marking the arms in blue and white, then ending as supernovae that seed the rooms around them with the heavy elements of future planets, future bones, future breath. Some stars pulse, they brighten and dim with reliable rhythm, and that rhythm becomes a ruler in the dark. Some cluster tightly in ancient spheres, the globulars in the halo, so old you can taste the beginning in their light. Some live in loose, open clusters that drift apart with time. Some wander alone, quiet lamps moving down long, curved streets, and threaded through this are the planets. Many worlds around many suns, most faint to us, most content to be unseen. It's a comforting thought that there can be a full, long life with no spotlight at all. Even the disk itself breathes. Stars bob above and below the midplane, gentle oscillations in a wide bed. You've ever floated in a pool and let the tiniest waves lift and lower you. You know the feeling? The city doesn't clap. It doesn't hurry. It holds. Think of the thick disk as memory itself, a layer puffed by earlier, rougher times that persist now as a companion to the thin and lively layer where we live. Memory is part of rest. You don't need to replay it, you just need to know it's here and kind. At the center sits Sagittarius A, a supermassive black hole about 4 million suns heavy. We know it's there because stars near it run in tight, fast loops as if circling a drain. The drain, though, is small compared with the lake, the event horizon tiny against the city around it. Most days, Esquarís is quiet. It sips, it doesn't gulp. Now and then gas slips too close, brightens in its final whirl, and we see a flare, a campfire spark against a massive night. Above and below the core rise two vast, faint lobes like lantern balloons, the Fermi bubbles, a memory of energy that flowed upward long ago. Narrow magnetic threads stand near the center like thin chimneys, channels for ordered motion in a mostly gentle, swirling sea. Around and through it all, the central molecular zone turns and turns, dense and rich and slow to abandon its secrets, as if all the city's kitchens gathered in one warm quarter. From our suburbs, the core is a bead, not a blaze. The bead steadies the string. If the mind tries to rush there, let the body go first instead. Jaw loose, throat easy, shoulders heavy. The path to the center is through softness. The galaxy's deepest room is not a cliff, but a hush. The sun moves around the galaxy at roughly 220 kilometers per second. It's an easy sentence to say and a difficult motion to feel. You don't need to feel it. You can lie still and know that far beyond the roofline, a slow current carries you anyway. The Milky Way's rotation curve stays flat far from the center, a clue that the halo's invisible mass keeps the outer lights turning almost as quickly as the inner ones. It's as if the whole city shares a common song in the evening air. The disk breathes. The warp lifts the rim. Small companions tug at the edges over long, patient times. The bar and the arms each keep their own rhythm, and where those rhythms cross, clouds pile up and kindling happens. Gas lags the stars here and there. Pressure and shock give it different rules. None of this jostles you. None of it asks you to keep time. You can be the listener who lets the music do the counting. In the halo, some stars stretch their orbits into long, elegant ovals, memories of ancient mergers. The thick disk may be one such memory, writ in height and heat, puffed by encounters long past. Over billions of years, orbits drift. A river, not a clock. Clocks tap the wrist. Rivers cradle the boat. Tonight, you are the boat, and the paddles can rest. Our home belongs to a small town called the Local Group, the Milky Way Andromeda. Triangulum and dozens upon dozens of dwarfs. Two bright irregular companions, the Magellanic Clouds, trail gas that feeds our halo and sculpts faint streams. The Sagittarius dwarf is being stretched into a ribbon that wraps around us, a long silk tied loosely at our waist. These streams are diaries written in stars. When we learn to read them, we read our past with a little more tenderness. Far ahead, so far you can let the thought pass like a cloud. The Milky Way and Andromeda will likely merge. First, the city may brighten with new star birth. Then, as fuel is used and quiet returns, the spiral scaffolding may relax into a large, smooth lantern. Stars will mostly miss one another. Space is roomy, and chance is kind at this scale. The sky's pattern will change, and nights will still be nights. Through it all, the elements go on traveling. Iron for blood, calcium for bone, carbon for breath. The river keeps its promises, even when the channel bends. If you're still awake, let a second wave of calm arrive now. We have walked the rooms once. We'll walk them again, slower, with fewer words and lower light. If sleep is already at the door, it may come in without knocking. The house is safe. Breathe in for 4, hold for 2, and out for 6. The same rooms, the same river, a dimmer lamp. We touch each idea only once, like fingers brushing beads on a thread. You don't have to remember. The thread remembers for you. From within the forest, we use parallax to sketch nearby trunks, standard candles to mark the clearings beyond. map is a quilt, and quilts are warmer for their stitching. When a patch is uncertain, we don't frown. We tuck the edge and keep breathing. Patience is not a virtue here. It's a tool, like a tripod for a long exposure. Stillness gathers light. Arms are travelers, not tracks. Gas hears the crowd and lingers. Stars keep going. Where rhythms meet, bar speed, arm speed, orbit periods, rings and gaps appear like ripples touching on a pond. The disk is flexible silk, not steel. Warps and waves pass through and move on. At the rim, light thins, but the rotation keeps steady. The unseen halo keeps the beat. If names creep in, Lindblad, resonance, choritation, open your hand and let them go. Keep only the feeling that patterns, like lullabies, travel through us and leave us calmer than they found us. In the cool rooms of the galaxy, clouds gather, and the densest corners forget how to be clouds. A faint point swells, heat rises. A newborn star yawns out thin jets and wears a disk like a wide-brimmed hat where pebbles may one day grow into worlds. The loudest moments are rare, a supernova's rippling shout, but even those become quiet in the long view. Metals sift into new clouds, and that sift is what makes rock and bone and you. Draw in one breath as the star lights, let it out as the light reaches us, far later, but right on time for sleep. Hot bubbles merge into chimneys that vent above the plane. Magnetic lines guide small travelers we call cosmic rays. The circumgalactic medium, a filamented fog far outside the main disk, exchanges matter with the city in a very slow inhale and a very slow exhale. The bar keeps ferrying gas toward the core flickers and rests. If you listen for alarms, you will not find them. There are none here. There is only the weather of a calm climate and the soft drum of your pulse in a room that knows how to hold it. Streams are the sentences of old stories. Faint dwarfs appear at the edge of sight like shy footnotes that turn out to matter. The thick disk may be a warm high mark left by early meetings. Andromeda is a date on a calendar so far in the future that the calendar itself will have yellowed and softened by then. When galaxies meet, they pass, they brighten, they settle. Think of a crowded station, then of nighttime after the last train. Same floor, same walls, different hush, breath in, hold, and out. The station lights dim. On the scale of the galaxy, time flows like cold honey. On the scale of your body, time flows like a warm tide. Yet the music lines up. Stars circle, lungs rise, halo streams remember, memory in you softens. The center sips, your mind does too. The unknown stays unknown without threat. Both scales agree that quiet is not a gap, but a gift. Keep the gift near your sternum where breath meets heartbeat. Let it glow there like a pocket star. We return, bulge, bar, arms, halo, clusters, streams, clouds, stars, winds, future, far, and kind. Repetition is permission. Familiarity lowers the volume without muting the song. What we already know is restful. What we don't yet know can wait on the porch. Inside, someone has turned down the lamps. Different instruments widen our senses, but none needs to be held tightly tonight. Catalogs improve the way bread rises by time and warmth, not poking. Error bars are pillows, not thorns. We keep the shapes, set down the names, and feel the room grow softer around those shapes as if the walls themselves were breathing. Stars sway above and below the plane, gas lags and then follows. Bars trade momentum with disks and halos and age a little. Rings appear where rhythms cross, faint jewelry on the city's hands. In the far outskirts, the song grows thinner but still hums. Eccentric orbits stretch like ribbons, gentle and unhurried. Add these whispers together for billions of years and you get the city we live in. Listen now and you get a lullaby. Carbon and oxygen meet on cold dust. Water freezes and later flies free. Disks mix and settle. pebbles accrete. There is no stopwatch here. The galaxy simmers and serves when ready. Your body is a late course in a long feast, and you are allowed to push the plate back and say, with a sleepy smile, enough. Dwarf galaxies circle like fireflies. Some bring gas, some come bare. Streams overlap in a shawl, threads crossing and recrossing the shoulders of the halo. Mapping them sharpens our sense of how we were made, but even a blurry shawl is warm. Memory doesn't need to be crisp to be kind. The sky remembers, you can let go. At the edge, there is no edge, just a fade. Gas thins, stars thin. The warp shows its curve. Rotation remains steady under the halo's hand. Here and there, small lanterns still light. Globular clusters keep their old appointments. Between galaxies, a murmuring medium holds the faintest threads. Inflow is a drizzle, outflow is a sigh. Drizzle and sigh are enough. River, scaffold, lanterns, iron, calcium, carbon, bar, bulge, arms, halo, streams, clusters, clouds, patterns that travel, orbits that breathe, uncertainty that is allowed, future that is far, breath that is near. Nothing urgent in the sky, nothing urgent here. Our eyes see a narrow band, and that's fine. Instruments widen it when needed. Tonight we dim them. Names help during the day. At night, shapes are enough. Low contrast, familiar patterns, that's the medicine. Darkness here is not a threat. It is room. Every quiet room can be a cradle. Every cradle needs a lullaby. The galaxy sings one endlessly slow note, and your breath matches it without trying. Imagine the tiny horizon at the core again, smaller than small against the city, sparks, then embers, then dark that is not empty. Nearby stars keep their careful loops like dancers who have practiced until the movement is muscle, not thought. Gravity is consistent. That consistency is comfort. The city sleeps. Your body remembers how. Width, about 100,000 light years. Thickness, about 1,000. Distance to center, 26,000, give or take. One orbit, 230 million years. Mass, roughly 1 trillion suns, stars, hundreds of billions, round edges, round words. Count them like breaths, 1, 2, 3, and then stop counting. Keep only the roundness. Earth turns, dawn will come, the seam will fade, birds will test their voices, clocks will remember their busyness. Not yet. Now is night, now is river. You are carried. All questions can wait. All edges are soft. Stay. Arms, patterns moving through a crowd, bar, a bridge across the heart, bulge, a warm square at evening, halo, silver threads, old and kind, streams, ribbons tied around the city, nurseries, velvet, lanterns, hush, core, small door, big room, breath, in, hold, out, need, none, enough, large and thin, threaded and held, dark matter shapes the outer song, stars are born, shine, share, rest, patterns travel, orbits breathe, you are made of this place, ordinary is good, uncertainty is gentle, the future is far, sleep is now, let hearing fade like a shoreline behind fog, at a clear dome and a pale seam, instruments at their quietest, notes drop below notice. The room is safe. You are safe. The galaxy turns without your help, and that is a kindness you can accept. The door to the day rests against its frame, but doesn't latch. We leave it that way on purpose. If you're still here, we speak in pairs and trios. Bar, arms, bulge, halo, streams, clusters, clouds, stars, winds, iron, calcium, carbon, river, scaffolding, lanterns. We loop once, then softly. Then we let the loop walk itself out the back door. The house keeps breathing, not the astronaut kind. No tumble, no spin. The kind where nothing presses on thought. Turn gravity down on worry, brightness down on thinking, volume down on time. There. Stay there. The river flows, you float. Sleep comes when it chooses. chooses now. The Milky Way is a patient room, and you belong here. Iron remembers stars without speaking. The halo remembers meetings without noise. The bar remembers paths without pointing. The arms remember crowds without grasping. Memory is presence. Presence is enough. Enough is rest. Rest is here. You are part of this gentle system. The disc breathes, and so do you. The river of light arches overhead, and the current is kind. If you're still awake, another slow chapter waits somewhere. If you're not, let the arms lift you and carry you like soft currents into sleep.